Hello and welcome back to English with Greg. In this pronunciation lesson, we're going to look at 10 words that are impossible to pronounce, even for natives. However, don't worry, in this lesson I'm going to give you some tips on how to pronounce these words even better than a native speaker. And stay until the end of the video because I've got a text to test you on your pronunciation of these incredibly difficult words. Right, all these words include consonant clusters. Consonant clusters are basically a combination of consonant sounds together which make words difficult to pronounce. As I said, this doesn't make things difficult for you to pronounce, it makes words difficult for native speakers to pronounce too. So before we look at the 10 words that are impossible to pronounce, I want to give you my advice on how you can pronounce them perfectly and, well, easier. My tip is this, and we're going to look at this during the lesson. If you try to just say the word, you will find it incredibly difficult. However, if you divide the word into two different parts and pronounce the first part and then pronounce the second part, it will be much easier for you to pronounce. So in effect, we are breaking this consonant cluster, this group of consonants. We're breaking it in the middle and we're saying one part of the word which includes maybe one or two consonants, and then we are saying a different word which starts with one or two consonants. If you do this slowly, very slowly, and then practice, you will actually consciously pay attention to what your mouth has to do in order to pronounce these words perfectly. And once you are aware of the movement that your mouth and lips and tongue have to do in order to pronounce these two parts of the word correctly and to transition from one word to the next, once you are aware of that and once you have practiced doing that slowly, you will be able to get quicker and quicker and quicker until you can say the word fluently, quickly, easily, and better than a native speaker. So let's have a look at these 10 incredibly difficult words to pronounce. Before we do, and if you want to take your English pronunciation to an advanced level, please subscribe to my channel because I help students like you speak English with an advanced English pronunciation. Okay, number one is the easiest one. They're gonna get more difficult, but number one is months. Months. And you can see here we have three consonant sounds together. N, f, s. Months. So using my trick to divide the word into two, first say mun, mun, easy, and then say th, th. That's the difficult part. So focus on practicing th, th. Put them together, months, months. How was that? Easy? Okay, they're going to get more difficult. Number two is desks, desks. The transition from S to K to S is incredibly hard to do. So, in this example and the next few words I'm going to give you, my advice is to divide the word after the first S. Desks, 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 desks. Say it slowly and get quicker. And you will realize that the K is a very important sound. And if you really focus on the K in the middle as the first sound of the second part, desks, then it will be much easier for you to pronounce this word. Number three is asks, asks. Again, we have the s combination of consonants, which is the difficult aspect here. Asks, asks. So divide the word after the first S, asks, 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 asks. The fourth word is tasks. Tasks. All right, we're getting a little bit more complicated now. Tasks. Tasks is very similar to asks, just with a T at the beginning. So again, divide the word after the first S, say tas, and then say ks. Tasks, tasks, tasks. Say it slowly, focus on what your mouth is doing, practice and get quicker. Tasks. Number 5 is tests. Tests. So we have a similar thing here, but we're using a T instead of the K. So we'll divide the word after the first S, tes, and then the second part of the word is ts, 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 tes, ts, tests. Number 3 is even more difficult in my opinion, and it is acts. Acts. So we want to divide the word after ak. Ak is easy to say, ak. And the second part of the word is acts. Acts. The next 2 words have 4 consonant sounds together, and they are tempts. Tempts. So we have the ts consonants together, tempts. So divide the word into 2. Temp. Temp is quite easy to say. Temp. And then tss. Temp. Tss. Temp. Tss. Tempts. Tempts. Number 8 is texts. Texts. 3 letters, yes, but 4 consonant sounds because the X has 2 consonant sounds. It's like a K and an S together. X. So here the 4 consonant sounds that we have together are k, s, t, s, x, ts. Texts. Texts. So divide the word into tex. Tex like Texas or Tex-Mex. I love Tex-Mex food. Tex. And the second part is tss. Again. Texts. 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 Say it slowly and get quicker. Texts. Number 9 is probably the most mispronounced word by native speakers in English, and it is sixth. Now the reason it is mispronounced by so many native speakers is that, well, it's really difficult, and what a lot of native speakers do is that they don't use the S sound in the middle. In other words, they pronounce the X like a K instead of like an X, the X, which has 2 sounds, k, s, x. So you will hear many native speakers incorrectly say sixth, sixth, but we need to add the S there. So divide the word into 2. 6, like the number 6, 6, and then 6, 6. Put it together quickly, 6th. Easy. Okay, and the last one is a word that many children have problems with in English, a lot of native speaking children, and this is the word crisps. Crisps. You'll often hear native speaking children forget the first S and say crips, but no, it's crisps. So divide the word into 2, say cris, cris is easy to say, and then ps, 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 crisps, 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 crisps. Okay, here is a text that I used inside my WhatsApp group for my students that I was teaching these consonant clusters to. So use this text to practice using these impossible to pronounce words in context. Here we go. After months of sitting at our desk in our ordinary clothes, we are now in a strange situation in which we have to work from home. Today is the 6th day, and already everyone acts as if it's normal. Our boss texts us every morning with the tasks we have to do that day, and asks us to do speed tests for our Wi-Fi. The proximity of my new office to my kitchen constantly tempts me to grab a biscuit and some crisps, but I have to stay strong and keep looking at my square screen. Okay, say that, practice these impossible words to pronounce, and remember my advice. If a word is difficult for you to pronounce, divide it into 2 different words. Say them slowly, focus on the shapes your mouth has to make to pronounce them correctly, and then put those 2 words together little by little. I hope you've enjoyed this pronunciation lesson. If you have, you can watch more of my pronunciation lessons there. Subscribe to the channel and check the description to find out how you can learn more English with me. Thanks for watching and bye for now.